About to dive into all of my vault of Vanderpump Rules knowledge. There's a lot of crap stored up there. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I am Lolise, and today we are gonna start diving into the reality TV world. We're gonna talk about Vanderpump Rules. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. I'm gonna give you an entire rundown of all of the shenanigans of these people who are famous just for this reality show, and that's it and that's all. But a situation went down between a couple cast members that has pretty much taken over my entire life for the past week. My husband is very tired of me talking about this to him. Well, I don't know anybody else really anyway, except for my coworkers, and we do talk about reality TV, but not this one. So I'm subjecting all of you to all of this because I have no one else to talk to about this, and I'm hoping you guys will be just as interested as I am. By the way, we're just gonna start this video off right now. We are, of course, Team Ariana on this channel. Before we get into all of this though, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post. And please don't send anybody that we talk about in this any hate, negativity, nothing like that. These are just my thoughts and opinions based on what I'm seeing. Well, usually I say based on what I'm seeing play on the internet, and a lot of this is from the internet, but it's also stuff that we see on television. But I guess I do watch it on a streaming service because I watch it like the next day on Peacock. So I guess it is the internet. So Vanderpump Rules. I'm gonna make a synopsis as brief as possible, but I kind of gotta give you a bit of a laundry list of who a lot of the people and players are. You know me, I just gotta try and make this story as complete as possible. So Vanderpump Rules is the brainchild of former Beverly Hills Real Housewife Lisa Vanderpump, the icon, the legend, the queen of Bravo. Even though she is not on Real Housewives anymore, she is an executive producer of Vanderpump Rules, and she is very good friends with Andy Cohen, who I don't know what his position at Bravo is anymore. I know he's executive producer on the Real Housewives shows, or at least he used to be. And he used to be the vice president of marketing or programming. I don't know, but he hosts all the reunions. He's friends with all the housewives. And he has a show called Watch What Happens Live, which is a talk show that happens Monday through Friday where he'll have housewives and other celebrities on. So that's that in a nutshell. Now, Lisa Vanderpump is this amazing woman who is a restaurateur. Her and her husband, that is their business. They've probably opened between 20 and 30 restaurants in their entire career, and they have a few restaurants in downtown Los Angeles. I believe it's actually West Hollywood. One, Villa Blanca, which actually I think that closed. How sad. And then Sir, which is the like fun, sexy place. The way it was always described, at least the way Lisa described it, was Villa Blanca was where you took your wife and Sir was where you took your mistress. And that aged poorly. So she also has other restaurants too. She does have a gay bar not too far called Pump, and then she has a couple restaurants in Las Vegas. One I've been to, which is in Caesars, I believe. That's when I went to. It was good. It was a little too fancy for me. Honestly, I'm just not a fancy person. I'm not like into fancy cocktails or like fancy desserts. I'm a simple gal. And then she just opened a restaurant, Vanderpump à Paris in Paris, or the Paris Casino. We will kind of be talking about later in this episode. So Lisa Vanderpump pitched a show to Andy Cohen about this group of young people in their early 20s and some in their late 20s and even maybe early 30s at the time that worked in her restaurant, Sir, that were very tight-knit group of friends that exclusively just dated and hooked up within their groups. It was a lot of drama, and she'd known these people for a while. She knew that this would be reality TV gold, and it was. The show has been on for now, we are in the 10th season. It kind of got a little stagnant for a while. Last season was horrible, and I didn't actually think I would continue watching it anymore, but some stuff over the summer made me be like, all right, maybe I'll watch it again, and then stuff has really hit the fan. So, the key players. So now, the original cast of key players was a few people that are not on the show and are not technically involved in the Scandoval of everything, but they've been voicing their opinions, and some past situations with these people kind of make the current situations even worse. So we had Jax Taylor, who was a huge douchebag. He was dating a girl named Stassi, Stassi was a brat, like really, she was a total brat. Neither one of these people are on the show anymore. And then you also had Tom Sandoval, who is one of the main people we're going to be talking about today. He at the time was dating somebody named Kristen, who is no longer on the show either. And then you had Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney. They were a couple, and then you did eventually see throughout the show that they got married. Lisa Vanderpump actually officiated their wedding, well, their first wedding, and then Tom Schwartz, her husband, screwed it up and lost the marriage license, so they got married again in Vegas. But this season's storyline is over the summer, they actually ended up getting a divorce. So that was part of why I was like, oh my gosh, I should watch this. I want to see how this divorce gets handled. Oh my gosh, and I totally forgot one of the other main cast members who is still on the show, and that is Sheena Shea, or Sheena Marie, I think is what we originally called her. The show actually opened with a scene from Sheena, and that's actually how I first started watching Vanderpump Rules. You kind of got tricked into watching it because you were watching an episode of Beverly Hills Housewives, and one of the housewives at the time, Brandy, her ex-husband had actually had an affair with Sheena. They had like a meeting and a whole conversation at SUR, and then Brandy leaves and Sheena goes into work, and then it becomes Vanderpump Rules. And I was like, did I just shift into another show? So very, very sneaky. So that was like the main cast. Like I said, a few of them left. Stassi and Kristen actually were fired because they were microly aggressive towards a cast member. I wouldn't even say it was microaggression though, because they straight up called and made a police report against a black coworker because they thought she stole one of their jackets. They weren't even sure. They had seen a picture of somebody who they thought looked like her, but really was just a black girl wearing a similar looking jacket. So they were fired because of that. And Jax Taylor, I think like everybody was just sick of him. He actually got married to a wonderful girl named Brittany, and they live in like Louisiana or something. I have no idea. Tennessee, somewhere like that. She's a little country girl. So they're not on the show anymore. They've kind of moved on in the sense, but they're all still friends with these people. Tom Sandoval was dating Kristen. They had a very tumultuous relationship. Kristen's actually from the area that I'm from, and I actually have seen pictures of her modeling for one of the local casinos. I don't know if it's like Motor City or MGM, but she's still on their website. I was looking the other day and I was like, is that Kristen? It is. So they actually were dating, lived together, lived in a crummy little apartment together, and then you have Jax and Stassi. Now, Jax and the two Toms, they were three best friends, but they ended up having a large falling out, at least the two Toms, with Jax, because it came out that Jax hooked up with Kristen, his best friend's girlfriend, in their apartment on their couch while Tom was sleeping in the other room. So not only did Kristen betray her boyfriend, Jax betrayed his best friend, and he betrayed his girlfriend Stassi, who was Kristen's best friend. So they just, created this whole crazy mess, and everybody broke up. Then we have the cast member Ariana entering, and now Ariana was somebody that Tom Sandoval knew for a while, and I would think that because they started dating so quickly after he broke up with Kristen, there was a little bit of overlap. He did admit to kissing Ariana while he was dating Kristen, so I mean that would be cheating. So I guess yes, he did cheat on her, but he actually ended up staying in a relationship with Ariana, and they have been together up until recently for 9 years. Then we have a guy named James who is from the UK. His family is actually friends with Lisa Vanderpump's family, so she kind of got him a job. He's a DJ. And then Kristen, when she broke up with Tom Sandoval, started dating James Kennedy, which was a little bit of a betrayal because Tom Sandoval was kind of becoming friends with James Kennedy, and then it became volatile, and then it's a whole big old mess. We also had the introduction of another cast member named Lala, who is a firecracker. She has zero filter and will read anybody for filth. Be afraid of Lala. Be very afraid. Eventually, James and Kristen broke up, and James got a new girlfriend named Raquel. Well, actually, her name is Rachel. We just recently, it was outed that her name is really Rachel, not Raquel, but we're just still gonna call her Raquel through this whole thing. So James and Raquel were together for a while. It was a little hard for her to get accepted in the group for a little bit because James and Lala were really close. It turns out they did hook up a few times, including a time when James was actually dating Raquel and Lala was dating her baby daddy, I guess is the best term for it. Yeah, her ex. And that just recently came out, like just a few episodes ago. I feel like I'm just kind of all over the place. I'm gonna put like little pictures of everybody, and so you kind of get an idea of like who all these people are. It's a lot. I know there's a lot going on here. But eventually, James and Raquel did become engaged. Tom Sandoval actually threw him a surprise proposal for like over 10 grand. That's a good friend. And like I said, Katie Maloney and Tom Schwartz, they got married and got their cute little, actually they all bought houses in the valley like right by each other and were like almost identical houses. Like at least 4 of the couples did. And though Sheena is important in this, she actually is the only one that doesn't date within the friend group. She always kind of dates somebody else. Smart girl. She is actually now married to some guy, I think he's Australian, I can't remember. Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody from 90 Day Fiancé, but they had a baby a couple years ago. Super cute. Moving on. So yes, James became engaged to Raquel, and they were engaged for maybe a year, but then in last season's reunion, it came out that they actually had broken off their engagement a few days before because she couldn't handle James's drinking. James has gone through periods of sobriety. He's doing really well, and then he starts to drink again, and it seems like he does have a problem, at least like controlling his emotions when he's drinking. So she couldn't handle anymore. She exited, and it seemed around this time that she started an affair with Tom Sandoval. Now, Tom Sandoval, if you remember from that rant I just did, is dating Ariana. Ariana is considered kind of like Bravo's sweetheart. Like, everybody loves her on Vanderpump Rules. She is a very neutral person. Nobody really has real serious problems with her, except for like Kristen did in the beginning, because she's like, what the heck, you're stealing my man. But they are actually cool, actually friends now. So now that I've kind of given you like a brief synopsis of the interworking, incestual hookup relationships of the people in this group, I mean, I haven't dove into everything and all the drama and all the history, because like I said, the show is in its 10th season. That's a whole 9 seasons of drama to like sift through and everything. However, I do think one of the most crazy things I'd ever seen on TV was when there was a fight when it came out that Kristen and Jax hooked up. Stassi actually hit Kristen in the face, and I'm pretty sure Sandoval punched Jax in the face, making him bleed. It was wild. So now let's jump back to a week ago on, might have been like March 2nd or 3rd, whatever. It was a Wednesday night. Sheena and Raquel were actually on the Watch What Happens live show. They were talking about Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump Rules actually airs on Wednesday nights, so then it makes sense to have them on the show because Watch What Happens live happens right after Vanderpump Rules, so they can talk about, you know, whatever was going on the show. And at the same time, on the West Coast, Tom Sandoval is in a cover band, and he had a show that night. And of course, Ariana, the great partner of over a decade, was there supporting him. Now, somehow she got his phone. Now, some reports say that it fell out of his pocket and she grabbed it to hold on to it. Other people say, like, you know, he asked her to hold on to it, or, you know, asked her to record. I don't know how she got his phone, but she got his phone. So when Ariana had his phone, he was on stage, she went through it and she looked at some messages between Raquel and Tom Sandoval. Now, Raquel and Ariana, they have been very close, especially with her breakup from James. They've even actually had Raquel stay the night in their home. She slept in their guest room. I believe they all went to Coachella together as well. And it was pretty shocking what she found. Ariana found a video of Raquel, what's the word I'm looking for? She found a video of Raquel pleasuring herself, and from reports what we're hearing now, this was actually a recorded FaceTime call. So they're both in the video. You can see, like, I mean, you know how FaceTime calls are. There's a little one and a big one. So they were actually having a FaceTime sex. Is that what you call it? Is there a word for that? They were camming each other. How about we go with that? Ariana was pissed, as any girlfriend would be, and she sent it to Raquel and said, "You're dead to me." This is right after they finished filming Watch What Happens Live. Raquel and Sheena were with some friends having dinner somewhere. Raquel was out on the phone for a while. Allegedly, Sheena came out to see what was going on, and she found out what was happening. Now, stories differ. Some are saying that Sheena actually punched Raquel in the face. Others are saying she just pushed her up the wall, threw her phone in the gutter, because Sheena has been standing up for Raquel. Now, this season, Sheena has been kind of pushing Raquel towards the other Tom Schwartz, the one that just got divorced from Katie. There was like a rumor that went around this past summer that somebody saw Raquel make out with Tom Schwartz at Coachella, and Schwartz has said he wasn't at Coachella, but the other Tom was, and it's possible that they actually got the name mixed up, that they just don't know which Tom is which. Okay, I feel like I just got like overwhelmed and was just like rambling about stuff, so let's start back. So she went through, she found the video, she messaged it to Raquel, and all hell broke loose. It was sent within their group of friends. It made the rounds to the internet pretty quickly. I think I found out about it like on Thursday, and I was friggin' shocked. Not surprised, but I was still shocked because Tom Sandoval, he's boring. I don't know why any of these girls are like going after him. He's like a boring dude. He's in the middle of a midlife crisis. He does not want to grow up. He's got Peter Pan syndrome, like hardcore. And then people realize that while this entire 10th season that has begun to air was filming, they were having this affair. And it's kind of weird to call it an affair when like Ariana and Tom were not married, but they were in a committed relationship together. They went radio silent, but all the other cast members were blowing up on the internet. Ariana did actually remove all of her social media posts, but actually Kristen came out of the woodwork and has been there a lot for Ariana. She went to her house. They even posted a little video together. Lala has been firing off, and so is James Kennedy. Now, I don't really know if any of these three people have much room to talk about the situation, because just a few years ago, Kristen was Tom in this situation, and I mean, Lala and James have admitted just recently to cheating on their former significant others with each other. And Lala's ex was actually married when she started dating him. I mean, sure, they are allowed to have emotions about this. Their friend is hurt and their other friend hurt their friend, but a lot of people see it as kind of hypocritical. I especially see it as hypocritical on Kristen's end, but at least she's being a very supportive friend to Ariana. In fact, everybody's been very supportive to Ariana. The girls pretty much close flanks around her and are more or less banishing Raquel. So what did Sandoval and Raquel do or publicly or say about the situation? Well, nothing at first, except for when one of the restaurants that Tom has with the other Tom, called Schwartz and Sandy's, and probably Tom too, probably started getting negative reviews, started getting bombarded with hate. So Tom Sandoval posted this: "Hey, I fully understand and deserve your anger and disappointment towards me, but please leave Schwartz and my friends and family out of the situation. Schwartz specifically only found out about this very recently and most definitely did not condone my actions. This was a very personal thing. Also, Schwartz and Sandy's might have my name on it, but there are 3 other partners and 20 employees who especially rely on the restaurant for income for them and their families. Just like Tom, I'm a small part of something much bigger. Please direct your anger towards me and not them. They did nothing wrong. I am so sorry that my partners, Greg, Brett, and Schwartz, and our employees have to suffer for my actions. I will be taking a step back and taking a hiatus out of a respect for my employees and partners. I need some time to address everything else. Sorry for everything." Oh, and James Kennedy did repost that and said, "Where's Ariana Madix mentioned?" Because he didn't mention Ariana or anything at all. He just was like, "Can you guys please stop attacking my business so we can keep making money? It took me a really long time to open this." That's pretty much his main storyline in the season with the other Tom, besides Schwartz's navigating his divorce, is them opening this restaurant without Lisa Vanderpump's help. Because they did open a restaurant with her previously, but Katie kind of cites this restaurant, Schwartz and Sandy's, as what kind of contributed to the demise of her marriage with Tom Schwartz. Now, there is some speculation that Tom Schwartz knew about this whole thing with Tom Sandoval because of the whole storyline with her possibly hooking up with Schwartz. Now, there was the Coachella rumor, but then it seemed like Sheena was kind of pushing Raquel to make a move on Schwartz. She would talk about him a little bit. She would say, like, "Do you think he's hot?" And it culminated to a point that we've seen on the series so far where Raquel went up to Schwartz and said, "Do you want to make out?" And then he said, "Are we filming right now?" And he turned around and saw a camera and was like, "Ah!" Now, some people think that Schwartz probably knew about this whole thing between Raquel and Sandoval much earlier on, but that he's been playing this card on the show to just kind of keep the heat off of them, because now, though he's still technically married, he is going through divorce, so it's not as bad. Of course, it still really hurts Katie for her friend Sheena to be pushing Raquel on. And then Raquel makes the excuses of like, well, you know, Sheena kind of put the bug in my head and it's just kind of been there ever since. So since all this broke, more connections and things have been made. I saw something really disturbing though, where on Halloween, when this affair was going on, it actually was Raquel for Halloween. Like, that is so weird. That's so weird, especially when you have, like, even if they weren't cheating, if I was Ariana, I'd be like, no, why are you trying to be my friend for Halloween? Also, people had said that they wear matching necklaces. Now, they both have lightning bolt necklaces, and when they wear those lightning bolt necklaces, it's supposed to signify to each other that they love each other. Now, I know that the Tom restaurant, their logo is a lightning bolt, so that might be part of it too. But now people are really picking up on it. There are also clips in the trailer of them being really close together and the way they look at each other in some of the promotional photos. People are just like, how are we not seeing all this before? Now, on the Vanderpump Rules subreddit, somebody did actually post that they had known about this for months. I don't know who this person was, and they actually, I believe, either deleted their account. They may have even deleted this comment. I did see this comment originally, but I took a screenshot of it later. And they said, I mean, most of it is out. I've known about this for months, and the episodes kept rolling out. I got more and more nervous for how this was going to come out, and this is what I know from a fact from her. Ariana's been suspicious for months about them. She almost caught them one night when he was sneaking out of the guest room where Raquel was staying. Ariana asked what he was doing in her room, and he said he was giving her water. It was 4 a.m. Sandoval and Raquel made out at Coachella. The rumor started spreading that she made out with Tom, so they got Schwartz to go along with the narrative that it was was him. The kiss and everything was fake. Tom has been saying he's gonna leave Ariana for months, but he had a lot of excuses as to why he couldn't. Their house, they own a house together. The restaurant he's making, Ariana's grandpa dying. It was always something. Like, actually, in this past week's episode, her dog of like 18 years passed away. So as I was watching that, I was like, I bet this was another one of his excuses as to why he couldn't break it off with Ariana. They tell each other they love each other. They have the matching lightning bolt necklaces. That is their signal to each other that they love each other. Raquel has shared with a few friends about this, including me, but no castmates except Schwartz. The band knew because they would frequently hook up after their shows. The night of Watch What Happens Live, Ariana goes through Tom's phone, finds a video, sends it to Raquel, says, "You're dead to me." Since Ariana knew that her and Sheena were together, she texted it to her, and when Sheena saw it, she confronted Raquel and hit her. "FaceTime me and I saw it. It's not that bad." And that's basically it. While Raquel didn't actually publicly say anything, behind the scenes, it seems she was going into massive damage control. She fired her, oh, well, this is all alleged because we don't really know any of this for sure. This is just like blind items and stuff that is being posted. She fired her PR team, that was also Tom Sandoval's PR team, because, you know, it's kind of a conflict of interest there, and got a new PR team that was trying to spin the narrative that she was a victim. She sent out cease and desist to pretty much all of the castmates except for Tom Sandoval for spreading a video that was illegally recorded. So they didn't do anything to Tom Sandoval, who allegedly illegally recorded it, but to Ariana and everybody else for spreading it in terms of it being revenge. Which, I mean, I guess you could argue that that is. They weren't putting it publicly though. It was just within their friend group, but still, I mean, it's not cool, but I can understand a reaction like that. I don't know, I'm not trying to justify sending people's like private videos around, but that video probably shouldn't have existed in the first place. Allegedly, her legal team did want to go after Sandoval, but she said no, she did not want to do that. It is painfully obvious that like she has feelings for him. And it seems like Raquel is also really pushing the black eye from Sheena narrative, because she posted a series of photos where she said she had a black eye, but honestly, like, I didn't really see it. It just kind of looked like a normal eye, maybe a little puffy. She did have like a little cut in her eyebrow, but I only could see that in like one photo. But because of this alleged situation, she was granted a temporary restraining order against Sheena. So now a lot of people are saying, well, this is her out from not having to go to the reunion and face the music. I mean, because if she has a restraining order, they can't come within 100 feet of each other. And a lot of restraining orders also include like no communication, like no phone calls and stuff. So a lot of people are saying, well, does this mean she's going to zoom in and not to be there physically? I don't know if she can even zoom in with Sheena being there either. And I don't think Sheena's not going to show up. I think Raquel is just trying to find a way to not face the music to her cast. But finally, Raquel did actually make a real statement. She says, "I want to apologize for my actions and my choices to Ariana, my friends and the fans so invested in our relationships. There is no excuse. I am not a victim and must own my actions. I deeply regret hurting Ariana. In the time since it has come to light, I am reflecting on my choices, speaking to a counselor, and I am learning things about myself, such as my patterns of codependency and addiction to being and feeling love. I have sought emotional validation through intimate connections that are not healthy without regard for my own well-being, sometimes negatively affecting others and often prioritizing the intimate connection over my friendships. I am taking steps to understand my behavior and make healthier choices. Although I choose to be on a reality show, accepting the good and bad that comes with it, beyond my own actions, I have been physically assaulted, lost friendships, received death threats and hate emails in addition to having my privacy violated. I have begun counseling to end my unhealthy behavior cycle, learn to set stronger emotional boundaries, and learn to protect my mental health. I don't expect sympathy, understanding, or forgiveness. Right now, I must focus on my own health and well-being. As I strive to be a better person moving forward, I will prioritize my mental health and learn from my mistakes." And right around the same time, I'm not sure whose came out first. I think Tom's second apology came out before Raquel's first apology. I don't know if Raquel has a second apology, but we're just gonna call it the first one right now. So Tom actually had a second apology, and this time he actually mentions his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend. "I want to first and foremost apologize to everyone I've hurt through this process. Most of all, I want to apologize to Ariana. I made mistakes, I was selfish, and made reckless decisions that hurt somebody I love. No one deserves to feel that pain so traumatically and publicly. I can only imagine how devastating this has been for Ariana and everyone around us. I feel horrible about that. My biggest regret is that I dishonored Ariana. I never meant to disappoint so many people, including our loving family and friends. My love for Ariana was stronger than any camera could have ever captured. Some of our best times together were never filmed. The same goes for our biggest biggest struggles. I wish things had happened in different order and our relationship was not severely tarnished, and that would have ended with the same respect for her as it began with. I owed Ariana better. I'm beyond sad that it ended the way it did. The choices I made hurt so many people. I acted in a way that clashes with who and how I want to be. I will continue to reflect and work on myself. I have work to do. I always have, and I always will. Tom. What a bullshit apology. Not to mention the fact that there are reports that he'd been out of the house for a few days because, he owns a house with Ariana. And when he came home, there was, people there with Ariana to support her, and they all kind of gave him a look like, what are you doing here? And he acted very narcissistically, like, well, this is my house too, like, I have to come here, like, I know you all hate me and whatever. And he even did a show right after this broke saying he knew what it was like to be the most hated man in America. It's almost like he's relishing in it a little bit, but then he also has a backtrack because he knows he looks like a douchebag. So when all of this was going down, Vanderpump Rules had actually already finished filming. They'd already done all their shots and everything. The production company that films that actually films Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so they had moved on to start filming Housewives. But when this happened, they actually paused filming Housewives and brought all of the crew back to film the aftermath of this, film other shots, film more confessionals. And the crew also facilitated a few meetups between Tom, Ariana, and Tom and Raquel. I don't know if Ariana and Raquel met up or not. So I know that Tom and Ariana filmed whatever, but the real talk was when Tom did his scene with Raquel. They had some sort of conversation. We don't know what was said yet. We'll find out at the end of this season because this is going to be in this season. Oh my God. But they filmed. And at the end of their conversation, apparently, allegedly, Tom and Raquel kissed. Then Tom, realizing this was not going to look good for him, demanded that they refilm the scene again for a reality TV show. Like, Jesus Christ, Tom. The crew was like, you're not a producer. No, we're not filming this again. And he's very upset and is apparently refusing to film anymore for the show. Well, you gotta go to the reunion, dude. Otherwise, you're in violation of a contract. Oh, that's right. Raquel actually did make a second statement and an apology part 2. I totally forgot about that. So Raquel posted again where she said, besides the indefensible circumstances surrounding our relationship, my feelings for Tom have always been sincere and born out of a loving friendship. Knowing how many people we hurt, I need to understand my choices and learn to make better ones. I need to take time to take care of my health, work on self-growth, and take time to be okay with being alone. I care for Tom, and I don't want to label anything or predict what lies ahead. Right now, I need time to heal. So what that statement is opening up the door for her to basically be like, yeah, we're together. She wants to be with Tom. Apparently, she has flown home to wherever the heck home is and is staying with her parents right now to like recoup and recover her mental health. But she will probably come back to next season. And I bet they're gonna be dating. Like, come on, this group of friends, like I said, they're super incestual. They like hook up and date each other and move around. Okay, now that we got through all of that crap, I hope I didn't forget anything. There's just so much, and I was recalling all of that from my memory of the past 9.5 seasons. There was a new episode of Vanderpump Rules tonight, and let me tell you, I, just like so many others, have been looking through this like with a fine-tooth comb. Honestly, I didn't pay too much attention to some of the other stuff that was going on that didn't involve Raquel or Ariana, and Tom was like there a little bit, but honestly, like, I've always found Tom boring, so I just didn't really care, and most of his storyline on the show is about the business, so it's like, whatever. I took notes, and I am not in my pink Power Ranger hoodie, but I did have my pink Power Ranger journal for my note-taking for this episode of Vanderpump Rules. So I just took a few notes in relation to all of this. The episode actually has a few couple like quick pickup shots, but it starts off with the scene of Raquel and Ariana actually bathing suit shopping for their trip to Vegas and Lake Havasu. And they're talking about Short and what happened, and the fact that in the previous episode, Raquel had actually confessed to Ariana and Katie that she had asked Katie's ex-husband Schwartz to make out. And Raquel actually says to Ariana when she admitted that and came clean to Katie, she felt really bad seeing how much it hurt her friend. She's saying this to Ariana's face while she is actually hooking up with her boyfriend already when this is being filmed. So she feels bad for making Katie feel bad for asking her ex-husband to make out, but you're literally hooking up with your best friend's boyfriend in their house. So then we get another scene of Katie packing for Vegas. There's actually a few scenes in between it, but I didn't really care about what was going on. And Katie was talking to, like, she's like a friend of in the cast. Like, she worked at SUR and you would see her around a lot, but she was never an official friend, Christina Kelly. And Christina Kelly is telling her about that situation where Raquel asked Schwartz to make out. And she's also painting it like, you know, Sheena really put this in Raquel's head, so Raquel's really stuck on it. And Christina Kelly is like, nah, she's gotta take, like, that's her responsibility. And she actually says in a confessional, she sees right through this little baby doll act. She's like, it's very offensive to babies to compare her. Basically, she's saying she can tell that Raquel is a little more smarter and calculating than everybody's giving her credit for. And she sees right through her. So very interesting. I wonder if Christina Kelly like knew anything that was happening. Then we get a scene where Lala comes over to Raquel's new apartment and they are hanging out. They're talking about their exes, James and Randall, and how life changes when you break up with your partner and how things are totally new and different. And then Lala breaks down about legal woes because she does have a child with her ex, and her ex actually has a lot of stuff going on with like money issues and SA allegations, and her ex is actually, he was a movie producer and he's being equated to like Harvey Weinstein. So she's got a lot of stuff going on top of just like custody stuff. There's a lot of things going on, moving parts within that. And then they are also gossiping about how they're both single girls going to Vegas. It's gonna be a single girls trip, except for Ariana is in a relationship with Tom, but I think everybody else on that trip is single. I guess I don't really know if Christina Kelly is single, but Katie will be single as well. Then you see the girls are off. Before they go though, Ariana does have a scene with Tom, and this is one of those super obnoxious things about men when you're in a relationship. Now, I'm not saying this is all men, but this is almost every man I've been in a relationship with. Even my husband does this, and if he's watching, I do love you, but sometimes men expect women to take care of like everything. And their dog, actually it's Ariana's dog, she had for I think 18 years is what she said. Her dog had a seizure, they had to take it to the emergency vet, and they had to get medication for it. So she's trying to give Tom the responsibility of getting the medication, and he says, well, why don't we just do it now? Meaning that Ariana can do it now instead of letting her just pack and go away on her girls' weekend. But they get to Vegas, and Lisa Vanderpump, because she has a restaurant in the Paris casino and hotel, hooks them up with the most amazing suite in the Paris hotel. It overlooks the fountains. They have a clear, beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower. I am super jealous. I'm so jealous. I love going to Las Vegas, and I would love to be able to get a suite like that. Like, Lisa Vanderpump, please be my fairy godmother too. And not long after getting there though, Ariana gets a call from the vet that it is not good with her dog. Her dog is still having partial seizures. You know, they think that it might be time, or that time is coming soon, which was very heartbreaking because of course she's crying. I started crying. I'm kind of tearing up right now. I totally get the pain and anguish that she's feeling. I just lost one of my pets, and I still think about all of the pets that I've lost. So Ariana makes a decision pretty much right as she gets there that she has to go home and she has to be with her dog, which all the girls of course support her in that. They know she will regret staying here instead of going and being with her dog that she loves. Oh my god, I'm getting so teary. So she leaves. The rest of the girls, which are Katie, Lala, Raquel, and Christina Kelly, get ready to go have dinner at, I believe it's at Vanderpump a la Paris. Yeah, it has to be. And they're actually gonna have dinner with Katie's mom and Lisa Vanderpump. And then Oliver is their waiter. Now, Oliver is actually the son of another Beverly Hills housewife, Garcelle Bouvier. Is that her last name, Bouvier? I think so, yeah. So Garcelle, another icon. I love her on Real Housewives. She takes no crap from anybody. She is honest. She will lay it out. I think she is a great prototype for what a housewife is, because she's also funny, beautiful, fashionista, and she's actually like a real working actress. So to have a real working actress be a Beverly Hills housewife, it just makes sense because it's freaking Beverly Hills, you know? So Oliver is her son, and Oliver is a very attractive man. I was always led to believe that he was married, but he does tell Lala in this episode that he's separated. I don't know if that's true or not. He was married at the time when he made an appearance on the Housewives last season at his mother's birthday party when Erica Jane was trying to hit on him. And then when she found out he was married, Erica Jane suggested a threesome with him and his wife. Awkwardly cringe. So Oliver is their waiter, and both Lala and Raquel are just like stunned with his hotness. You'd think they had never seen a hot man before. Both of these women act like they are so starved for the D. But they both need to chill a little bit because we're still not 100% sure if he's really married or not. Then we get a flash to Tom picking up Ariana from the airport, and it is just so hard to watch a scene with Tom to like not feel so much disdain pain for him and hatred, but here we are. He says, you know, he's gonna be there for Ariana. He actually says about Ariana, she's my girl. At this point, he is already hooking up with Raquel and probably has been for a few months. Then the conversation back in Vegas with LVP and Katie and the gang turns to Schwartz and Sheena kind of putting that bug into Raquel's head. And Lisa Vanderpump calls it out. She says, no, you have to take responsibility and accountability for your actions and your feelings. You can't blame it on Sheena. And this is why we love Lisa Vanderpump. She calls it like it is. And also, Katie's mom is sitting there. So for this girl that she literally doesn't know to be talking about Schwartz, who he was family, he married into their family, and for her to be like talking about this so flippantly, she said it upset her, but I could tell it was like angering her. And she was like, I don't know about this girl. No. Katie's mom, she's right. Then the girls separate from Mom and Vanderpump and they go to a club, and then we also get a flashback of them inviting Oliver to the club as well. And there's like a couple other guys there. Katie kind of macks on this guy at the bar who's like cute in like a non-conventional way, but Oliver does come to the club and Raquel and Lala are just like all over him. They are hanging all over him. And this is where Lala asks if he is still with his wife. He says he is separated, so that gives her the green light to be like, yeah, I'm gonna get you in my bed. So after confirming that and having some conversations about custody, things like that, after confirmation, Lala and Raquel go up to the bar and privately talk about how they both want to jump on Oliver. It actually seems like Raquel wins this in a sense, because not long after this talk, Raquel and Oliver go out to the dance club and are making out. And we heard this went down a few months ago, like when it happened. We saw pictures of it and stuff. And at that point, like all the articles were just referring to him as married. He did say he was separated though. However, his wife posted stories on Instagram, kind of alluding to something a little different. And she said, tomorrow is going to be a really hard day for me. The fact that people think it's cute and flaunting what they did is so beyond painful. You know what you did. Completely delusional. I deserve so much more respect for this. Last thing, I think the biggest part is our son will see how you handle this whole situation. You're setting an example of lying and cheating. No respect for your wife, kids, and stepkids. No apology, no remorse. To be continued tomorrow. Yes, we're in the process of divorce now. So she makes it sound like they were not actually in the process of divorce or separated at all, but because of Raquel and probably other things too, because if he was totally okay with like two girls hanging over him and making out with Raquel publicly, there's probably some other things going on. But I don't know Oliver. I'm not trying to bash him or anything like that, but he is a supposedly, allegedly married man making out with a girl on national television. Lala said she does not care that Raquel is the one that ended up making out with Oliver on the dance floor. However, she thinks it's weird that Raquel didn't express any kind of interest in Oliver until she herself, Lala, was like, oh my god, he's super fine. And then Raquel was like, yeah, and turned it into a competition, which is not surprising to me actually, because Raquel is a pageant girl. She is all about competition. Plus, she just found out that her ex-boyfriend that she's still kind of into, I would think, hooked up with this girl. She never really liked Lala either. So it doesn't surprise me that it was very much a frenemies type situation there. And then in the preview for next week, they are all hanging out in bed and Lala actually says, when you're drunk, I would not trust my man around you. And the response Raquel gives is, it's a good thing you don't have a man then. I might actually continue doing like weekly Vanderpump Rules recaps if that's something you're interested in, because the season is fire. Oh my god, I love it. Or if you're also interested, I might even go back and start from the beginning. I'm actually going to be doing reality TV rewinds, like going back and watching older reality shows or just older TV shows in general, like shows that I love. I have a whole list of shows, so keep an eye out for that. I'm also going to be doing like a book club of reality TV stars, because you know a lot of reality TV stars have written books, like oh my god, so many. So I'm going to be doing that kind of book club. If you guys want to follow along and actually make it like a real book club, we could totally do that too. I could make some kind of like, I don't know, Facebook group or Discord. We can figure it out, you know, what, if you're interested, if you want to read Bravo Celebrity books with me. Right now I'm actually reading Teresa Giudice's first book. I think it's called Flipping Tables, Turning Tables. I don't know. So expect that soon. I'm just like, everything just like was totally shocking. I was just being devoured by it. I was spending all of my time online. And like I said, my husband was so sick of hearing about this. Anytime I had like an update, I'm like, oh, about the Raquel, Tom, Ariana thing. He's just like, I mean, he loves me, but he doesn't care about this stuff. All right, you guys, that was it for today's video. My super long tangent about Vanderpump Rules. I can't believe this. Now, I always felt like Tom was a scuzzball. They're all jerks. His best friend used to be Jax Taylor. Like, how you gonna be friends with Jax Taylor and not be a douchebag as well? And I hope Ariana's doing good. It seems like she is doing well. She's got a lot of great support around her. We just need to get her out of the living situation with Tom Sandoval. Oh, also, this is actually kind of started previously, but I think it's a storyline that's happening now too, is that Katie and Ariana are opening a sandwich shop, and this season they're currently looking for a location. So if you want to support them, let's find a way to get some gift cards. Anyway, that is it for today's video. That was just such a super long tangent, but I was just so excited and so overwhelmed and just like so gassed up about talking about all of this Vanderpump Rules stuff. There's probably some things that I'm forgetting because, like I said, the majority of all of this I was just pulling from my memory over the past week because it's still so fresh. Anyway, you guys, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in my next video. Laters. Bye.